A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems. I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me. A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems. So this is a day in the life of the Traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time.
Art! Sumetsu! Whirling snow! Take flight! Sakura swirl! My apologies! Embrace the ice! run!
There really were Fatui echolocation written down on this piece of paper. And they look really mad at us, too.
You're not breaking a sweat. This should be fun.
Think you can bully me?
Yeah! Huh? Out of the way!
Not breaking a sweat.
You can't run! Hit! Hit! Punishment! Hit! Yeah! 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 Hit!
This should be fun.
You can't run! Yeah! Yeah! Judgment!
Not breaking a sweat. My duty at an end. Frozen. Grasp.
Yeah!
Decided by destiny! Shiver! Everybody stand back! Out of the way! You can't run! Let me scribe!
It's time. What? Two's not this time.
Can't handle your drink.
Stay right there.
Yeah! Delves into death!
This is bad.
You can't run! Yeah! Lights out!
Think you can bully me?
Let me scribe! Yeah! You can't run! Delves into destiny! Yeah!
The loneliness of death.
There are so many talismans here. What are they for? Paimon's seen this pattern. Oh, Paimon knows. But how did a relic of your death die end up in the hands of someone like... Oh, that's right. Cloud Retainer said that when the Lord of Talismans like that were once used in the Archon Ward, maybe the Fatui are copying the Sigil of Permission in being able to channel divine power in battle? And the last stop on our... Let's go!
Right on time. I myself only arrived moments ago. Did you enjoy your visit to the Jade Chamber?
It was so big and pretty and expensive.
Indeed. It's second to none in all of Liyue. Then you met with Ningguang, I trust? What did you talk about with her?
She's super rich, and yeah, her take on Ningguang.
Oh, so you also met with Keqing then? What did she have to say?
She said the time of...
No respect for the divine. Indeed, contrary to the ever-bold Keqing, Ningguang is more of a businesswoman at heart, though they are both members of the Qixing. Although she's friendly, there's no way of clearly discerning her true intentions. Yes, she has only relied on herself to rise. It's said that she's the one behind the constant expansion of the Jade Chamber. It's the second most important thing to her. Even if she ever gave up the position of Tianquan, she would never give up the Jade Chamber.
The Jade Chamber is only second. What's the most...
Why, Mora, of course.
All Ningguang talked about was the Fatui this and the Fatui that.
That is how the Fatui have always been. It doesn't surprise... No matter what they may be planning, you must be careful when dealing with the Fatui. Always be on your guard.
So, is there anything we need to get for the...
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Today, we'll be gathering wild glaze lilies.
Glaze lilies? Well, oh, right!
No. Those lilies have all been gardened by people. They won't do it all. Dihua Marsh used to be full of glaze lilies. It is a sort of joyful flower that listens to human song. Before the Archon War, Dihua Marsh was all dry land and fertile soil. But the war caused landslides, and the land was flooded, turning it into the marsh you see now. Nearly all the glaze lilies were wiped out. Of course, there are some kinds of flowers that have been preserved and gardened by people in the city. But very few people know that glaze lilies may still be found in the wild. Wild glaze lilies have the strongest fragrance. If we want to follow the true tradition of the rite of parting, we must grind up the wild lilies and place the powder in a censer of everlasting incense. But I'll need your assistance in gathering these flowers. No, I need you to sing to them. Singing to the flowers will make them more fragrant.
So how could... Really?
We'll only know once she starts.
It's time to sing. Whenever you're ready. Da 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 da. What happened? These flowers are jumping. They look really angry. Is it because you sang a song for Mondstadt that they don't understand Chandelure?
Written in the stars. Shiver! Get out of here! Take cover! Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Shake your hamster!
Get out of here! Adventure time!
Scratch!
Yeah. Everybody stand back!
Oh! Shake your hamster!
Yeah. Judgment!
glaze lilies! Glaze lilies!
This little monster is known as a whopper flower. Strange. These petals look interesting. The glaze lilies used as a disguise were buried with the whopper flower for too long. The result seems to have surprisingly potent medicinal value.
Well, that's nice.
Unfortunately,
That's so late.
Excuse me. Are you searching for glaze lilies?
Oh, hey! It's... What?
Hello, traveler. I'm surprised. Ah! That reminds me. How was your visit to...
Well, it sure would have been better if...
Didn't I tell you the way? Surely I did.
Nope. We found the way on our own.
Oh, I see. Uh-oh. I guess I really...
Huh. So, she's acting different from the first time.
Ah, well, I met you at that time as an emissary of the Tianquan. But now, I am simply out on a stroll to see the flowers.
You came all the way out here to see the flower.
Yujing Terrace is where Rex Lapis parted from this world. If I strolled through those lonely gardens now, I wouldn't be able to bear it. Whenever my duties take me near Yujing Terrace these days, I draw the windows to block my view of the gardens.
Oh, so...
No, it's quite all right. I just haven't processed my emotions yet. When the Archon War came to its end 2,000 years ago, the first iteration of the Seven would gather in Liyue and drink with Rex Lapis. But 5 of those original 7 had already passed before Rex Lapis. It's truly a changing of the... Yes. Now that the spirit of Rex Lapis has returned to the heavens, only Barbados of Mondstadt remains of the first 7. The other 5, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, are no longer the same friends from 2,000 years ago. Of the current 7 Archons, the youngest is Sumeru's god of Dendro. He is merely 500 years old, whereas Rex Lapis was more than 6,000 years old at the time of his passing. This means that Liyue had been under Rex Lapis's rule from the moment it was first founded 3,700 years ago. The city has never had to bid farewell to its deity.
so what do you think of this farewell?
Huh? This is a little sudden. As a mortal, I've never dared to imagine a Liyue without Rex Lapis. But as an Adeptus, I think I will eventually come to grips with reality. Since Rex Lapis has passed, the time of Liyue's contract with the
Huh? Did you...
Yes, I am a mix of human and Qilin. Adeptus blood flows through my veins. I fought for Rex Lapis and the city of Liyue during the Archon War. After the war ended, I signed a contract with Rex Lapis and took the position as secretary for the Qixing. Well, let's save that conversation for another day. You say that you are here looking for glaze lilies? I also know where wild glaze lilies can be found. See, I've just picked one myself.
We dare not refuse it.
Oh, so did you sing a...
Indeed, I did. I know this tradition well.
Wow, so you really know your...
No, it is you who I should be thanking. If not for this chance, if you would excuse me, I should...
And that just about does it. Our preparation, given the ease of picking glaze lilies, I think this was a fitting end to our...
Yeah, Paimon can already imagine.
I've had enough. Beginning a new undertaking is always difficult, so you must be careful to take the...
Wow. See? Alright, I think it's about time we head back to Liyue Harbor now.
Don't we have a job to do? Ah, you're the consultant to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Mr. Zhongli, I presume. The Millelith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times.
Desperate times?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise force?
Most likely. I've already gone to meet them. Well, I say meet, but it's more like they're attempting this. However, both sides were quite obstinate, and hidden it.
It seems inevitable, given the...
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the Geo Archon. If the two sides...
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the sort to give in...
Their boneheadedness is known throughout the lands. Yet it's because of that obstinacy that mortals and Adepti are now on the verge of...
And what now? How is it that the Fatui have come under...
That's all Ning... She proclaimed that in these tumultuous times, the Millelith must reign. Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? That's the Qixing for you. Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on us.
It looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between both sides? Neither path is an...
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has also been caught up in all of this. Their current...
Things are taking a turn for the worse. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. I hope that Master Hu has been able to keep... Consider your next course of action carefully, Traveler. If you're trying to prevent an explosion...
Having connections with the Fatui... So what does Zhongli mean by looking for the fuse? Oh, Paimon gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the... He must be waiting for the moment when no one is... Well, where could we find him? Where would he go at a time like this? Think you could bully me? This is the Golden House? It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even... This is where all of Teyvat's Mora is minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't... Oh, so it's a trap! But even if we can't take it, or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of more... Oh, right! It's quiet. Huh? Look! What happened here? Uh-oh. Quick! We have to go make sure...
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here? Haven't you already seen an...
Huh? Who's there?
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way. Where should I start? Well, I've never been one to beat around the bush, you know. But who could have possibly guessed that if it weren't for that lovely little rite of parting ceremony you put together, it would have taken me... stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my duty to see the will of the Tsaritsa fulfilled. She will get that which she desires. I'm not asking for your blessing, and the time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that. Either way, we now come to my favorite part. A simple pleasure. The battle.
Battle? So you're the type that...
When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of battle now. When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a harbinger...
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen...
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I will... Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to relish the fight anyway. Fighting talk, I love it! This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got! So very few ever get the chance to square off with the Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint! Unbecoming.
Shut up! Odious fate. Let me scry.
Let's go! Shake it out!
Decided by destiny. My reckoning has come.
Poor timing. You've made some progress.
Yeah!
Not bad. You've got a trick. Haha, good. No wonder Signora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger.
can't run! Shiver! Yeah!
No use hiding back there.
Diana Special! Shaking hands!
Judgment!
All you do is run.
Yeah! Ha! You can't run! Yeah! Delve into destiny! I'm going in!
Raging tide! You've got some skills. Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get. Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected! Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now. I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
This is going to cost you! Yeah! You got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster? Or did you leak the information regarding the Golden House to me on purpose? No matter. Hand the Gnosis over, now! Don't make me take it from you!
We didn't take it!
What a nuisance!
Shaking hands!
Yeah! Yeah!
Scratch! Can't handle your drink!
You can't run! Yeah!
Scratch!
Yeah! Shiver!
You're a cut above.
Look! Child's back to normal again!
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the Foul Legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this through. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
That's what we've been trying to tell you! We didn't take it!
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. You already know the answer, don't you? But if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend. Even if our friend...
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the In fact, it might be that...
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also wealth. As such, we must...
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this, for the truth is, the world belongs to those who pursue strength. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children must...
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyon's stone forest.
A god?
Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the Geor Archon in the Archon War. If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago.
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Hey, those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me. But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geor Archon to show its hand, but you... Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on? If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the gold... Did we make it in time? Is the over...
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adept guy. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing...
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed...
Oh, Paimon gets it. Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pit in Paimon's tummy.
It's not just you. We've got new Millelith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god, which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago. So will the power of the Qixing, Millelith, and Adepti gathered here...
We've already discussed this together, and our
What? But all of you are supposed to be the Guardians of Liyue!
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Qixing did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, One who did craft the Guizhong Ballista with one's own hands. For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista.
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. We haven't a moment to spare. Yep.
The 3 Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work!
All able Millelith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you, one wishes to witness.
My work finished. Let's move.
Yeah! Ha! Judgment!
You need to hurry up. Detoxify me.
You can't run! Everybody stand back! Punishment! Judgment! Yeah!
That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Fate is upon you! Yeah!
The ancient god's attacking again! There are so many Fatui too! We can't help!
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children?
Huh?
Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is Adeptal energy! That light from your body, it's like that time in Julian Karst! Wow, it's Madame King's shockwave! This granny's really strong!
Punishment!
It isn't time for a break
You
yet.
can't run!
Can't handle your drink!
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Let's move.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So this is what Ganyu's like in a fight!
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast!
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of Adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Decided by destiny. Yeah.
Not breaking a sweat!
Shiver! Yeah! Yeah! Hit! Yeah! You can't run! Go in! Exercise caution! I fear that the god's power has reached its peak!
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
Punishment! Written in the stars! Hit! Sa! Hit! Everybody stand back! Yeah! Yeah! Huh. Lights out. Yeah.
Look at you, Boozle!
You can't run! Judgment! Shiver! Yeah! Yeah!
The Fatui's numbers are thinning!
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
Yeah!
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Is it fine?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to the effects of the Sigil of Permission last. It will be some time before the Overlord of the
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened...
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but it is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a business. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue 3,700 years ago. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the... Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land.
Are you questioning our means of
I mean no offense. I simply hope that...
Forebears, you say?
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world. But I dared not speak.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us...
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millelith. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line.
Huh? Why does everyone look so...
Weren't you frightened, dear?
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millelith guards were there, and those powerful... When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks, and thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. Aww.
You see, this is what Liyue, the country of contracts, is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer, although their blood is weak, there is still the time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now...
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, Conqueror of Demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Since we Adepti have consensus, but how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power?
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between Oh, right! It's nice that Child wanted to unleash the god, but we were able to handle the Overlord of... Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to... Paimon doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti-less rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshan Funeral Parlor.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangsheng Funeral Parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
We've come to see Zhongli.
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the... Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the gold... Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting... We had better go and...
And with that, the fate of the Wuhua
You call this cooperation between Harbingers. Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring... Oh, it seems that some of your friends...
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And...
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of Bar... Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly.
No, don't let her get to you. You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements. And so it might be best to keep things peaceful this time, seeing that 2 of the
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map.
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted...
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had any... Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may... The real deceivers here are Signora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee.
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Chiao? No, wait. That's an exciting twist and all.
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you and splat! This big dragon...
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that...
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liyue. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not begun to form, and that the end of my time had not yet come. Until one drizzly day, as I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You've finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already finished my duties?
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered, was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter it? So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together. Indeed I was. The Gnosis, which I had kept for so many years, suddenly seemed to have lost its meaning. That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply...
Of course. And it would have been all too easy for him, too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death of its deity.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show that you all put on. Why, you even deserved an encore. The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city, yet faced with such a crisis, they exerted the greatest amount of restraint. And hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract, Signora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence, far from the eavesdropping ear. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot, I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti. To come to, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue as divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by...
Huh? That doesn't...
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such...
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving?
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo-Archon, Liyue, would never have been...
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you... Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber of the peace, no?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapoljarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, child.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not...
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a...
Realistically speaking.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless My agreement with the Cryo-Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo-Archon. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to... Uncover that answer for yourself in...
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we've spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
Well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I guess it means that those rumors hit...
So Rex Lapis is really...
Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think. I don't think any of... There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the assassin was that Fatui fella.
Fatui? They certainly are very...
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights...
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been too...
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our...
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person possess to be able to do such things?
Ah, forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millelith over there looks like he's about to make an announcement. Let's hear what...
Hear ye all! The Qixing's words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common knowledge. Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. So rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis, having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve, nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement... So that's how they're spinning it. Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how... Could the Qixing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis... Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting has been going on for a while now. Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something? Are their speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is
3,700 years of contract.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tian. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking...
Is that the traveler who they say defeated?
So young. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, name your price.
Whoa.
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
As for the mortals and Adepti of Liyue, what
Now that I think about it, perhaps mementos for Rex Lapis might be the best short-term business opportunity.
And to think I'd put my best perfume on before. But it seems as if those perfumes really were meant to be offered to Rex Lapis. Well, that's fine. Suffer no rivals in love, they say.
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Xinyue kiosk.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Xinyue kiosk. Are you sure you can afford it?
You're right. I do lack the Mora. As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to rehearse a little for my new life.
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange the Archon Morax. Could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the street. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings without partings.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too—
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before.
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the Shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the— Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of a statue of the thousand-armed, hundred-eyed god.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Anemo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate any unstable elements that could pose a threat to her eternal realm. The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is nearest unto heaven. All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know? Ah, that was a good one. Failing a divine trial. That said, The reason why the Qixing were so eager to resolve the incident and stop pursuing the culprit was indeed because they received news in... I hinted as much to the Adepti as well. How did I accomplish that, you ask? Have you ever heard of this particularly convenient Adepti art known as gifting dreams and visions? All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know?
Yeah, about that. Before the Qixing made their announcement, we listened to a lot of people talking on the way. Most of them put the blame for everything on Childe.
These are indeed false accusations. But it remains undeniably true that Childe did send people to the Jade Chamber to prevent the Adepti and the Qixing from defeating the ancient god. I've heard that Ningguang is busy milking that for all it's worth on the foreign relations front at the moment, browbeating the envoys of the Fatui. Ha! Those poor Snezhnayan diplomats. If it were not for Childe's exalted position as a harbinger, I'm certain that they would have shifted all the blame to him and called for his dismissal by now. All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know? The time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue? Keqing is absolutely right in saying this. Now, though I did laud Ningguang's desire for power, believing this to be a good thing, and thought as a matter of course that she must have been behind the Qixing's plan, could the original person who brought up the idea of seizing power have been... All right then. Was there anything else you...
That's right. Zhongli, now that you don't have your gnosis, since Morax is dead... Also, isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent?
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for...
This is terrible! We're all about to run out of...
Yes, this is indeed... Well, I suppose we'll just leave such troublesome matters...
Then, did you at least set some private funds aside for...
Oh, a private fund.
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time. All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation.
Children, come, come. You've arrived at just the right moment. I've been looking for you.
Oh, what is it, Granny?
Oh, no. You've done so. In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our...
A gift? For Paimon?
Oh, child, you are so very modest. When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, that simply won't do. Especially, fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see my subspace creation abilities atrophy. Oh, Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, I will not go into too much detail, but the teapot that you entered previously was a little trinket
So, in the eyes of an Adeptus, creating a magic...
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few fine...
That's right! Finding stuff's what...
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need for you to go run. What's more, I doubt that you would know how to find the materials I am searching for. Well, for starters, I require some shimmer soil from the... You would have to dig downward, following the roots of the glazed lilies, but almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil in this manner. So even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to be, ever since the Blackcliff Forge opened for business. In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an Adepti treasure, and the adeptal power within is not something that... goodness knows if that child...
Well, since you're an Adeptus, Granny, the person you asked for help...
Yes.
She counts? How come there are so many Adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into them all the time.
Oh, maybe so. Who can say? A fair few of my old friends are rather fond of mundane mortal life, after all.
I'm back, Granny. Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to do the honors. This child here is Yen Fei. Yen Fei, I believe you've already heard of the trap.
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millelith's records. You became one of Liyue's most wanted after the Millelith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. Afterward, before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any... A shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yanfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right to me. Oh, yes, here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details, and if you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention.
All right, Yanfei, all right. Let's get to the business at hand. I do not think these two are in any dire... You'll have to excuse Yanfei. She's always been like this, ever the talkative one.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question. You seem...
An Adeptus? I guess. Kinda. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving...
Well, that's a bit casual for an Adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to protect Liyue Harbor?
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis, and that he was fine with it. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny, I've gotten a hold of most of the stuff you asked for, except for... The chasm's been sealed off, and there's just no way in. Couldn't secure any documentation either. Looks like...
Is that so? Yanfei, are you sure you can't find some other way? They have helped
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, the chasm's definitely a no...
Whoa, that's a really thick book.
Commercial consultancy. Or... Snezhnaya? Ah, found him. Krusel. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. If my memory serves, all of them had to do with rare ores.
He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was planning so, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll— Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but it's best if you just stand by and
Wow, an Adeptus imploring us to avoid—